What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here, fresh off the Ship Shawana show. Right out of the car, nice little 4-hour drive, back home in the command center, recording a video. Chit chat topic today. We're just gonna have a little talk today. Overall, ship show, had a good time. I'll probably do a separate thing on that. But I had an observation while I was there. A light bulb moment, maybe. I don't know. We're just going to kind of talk through this. So, let me set the scene for y'all. I was hanging out at a table. McCracken Cards, shout out. Viewer of the channel, friend of the show. Him and his son, he sells sports cards. He sells Pokemon. And I talk to them often. And I was there for a while, and I was just kind of watching interactions take place. And talking to Kraken Senior and just kind of like, getting a vibe for the show and whatnot and watching transactions go. And we were just kind of talking back and forth. And he said something and it kind of really like struck me. And then I was like, literally what we were talking about happened. And what that was, there was an interesting difference between how people were buying sports cards and how people were buying Pokemon stuff. And essentially what was happening is, someone would come up and they would ask him about some pick random ultra modern card here, modern ultra modern card here, PSA slab, whatever. And it would immediately turn into this whole back and forth of this card selling for $100 on eBay. I'll offer you 70%. I buy at 70% comps. Well, and then, well, I can't sell at 70%, how about, 90%, whatever. And it just turns into this thing of people throwing percentages at each other. And then people would walk up to the Pokemon section of his table and they'd be like, hey, how much you got on that? Maybe like, I don't know, $25, whatever, pick a number. And they'd be like, okay, cool. And how about that one? $30? Okay, cool. Great. Here's $55. Done. Absolutely done. Just, yep, sure. Okay, fair price. Good. We're done. Cool. And I think what this actually comes down to is a simple thing. People actually want to collect the Pikachu and Charizards. And you can insert a bunch of different categories here. Comic books, vintage sports cards, and I'm painting with a broad brush, not all modern sports cards, but generally speaking. On the ultra modern sports card side, I don't know, and even myself included on this, how much of that stuff, how many people buying an ultra modern sports card, a modern ultra modern sports card, actually are, air quotes, collecting that card versus trying to collect 10% when they move it on to the next person. Whereas Pokemon, the person that's walking up to that table genuinely wants to buy that card for themselves. So they're less concerned about price because they just want the card. They just want to own the card. So if it's fairly priced with about what it goes for on the market, they will walk up, maybe negotiate a little bit, but it's not this whole like, oh, I buy Charizards that fit 75% of comps. I need room. How many times do you walk around a show floor and you hear the words, I need room? That means they're not buying to keep it. That means they're just buying to pass the hot potato on to the next person. Which, no shock here. That's what the modern, ultra modern game is to some degree. It's all of us. We're just passing around the live grenade. We're just all sitting there passing the live grenade around, and to our friends even, we'll do it to each other. Sure, yeah, you want, yeah, sure, okay, cool, deal, done. We'll pass around the circle, and then the music stops, and one of us is left holding the bag. Guy tears an ACL, shows up with a Glock 17, sucks in the playoffs, whatever. Something happens, and poof, music stops, grenade goes off, the chair gets pulled, whatever. Pick whatever thing you want to here. And you lose. And we go, the best part is that we all look at each other and go, All right, cool. Well, back on the merry-go-round. Let's do this all over again. And rinse and repeat over again. And then once again, we just pass the slabs around until the timer goes off, and then poof, something happens, and eventually it blows up in your face. But that's really all modern and ultra modern is. It's just one big game of hot potato. You're just tossing it around to each other. Each person makes their 5 or 10%, moving around. Oh, sorry, you lost this time. Maybe next time it'll be me. All right, cool. Let's pass the next one around in a circle. Whereas with Pokemon, people just want to buy the card. And I've made this same comparison with comic books as well, especially the older stuff and even some modern stuff too. When I went to Heroes Con last year and New York City Comic Con last year, those are my first true really big Comic Cons. I've been to the National, obviously. I've been to plenty of card shows. But that was my first exposure to a large scale event, Comic Con. And one of my big takeaways, and I talked about this in the video last year, was the vibe was a lot different. It was way more collector focused. People were there for, I think the term that I used back then was for the love of the game. People were digging through dollar boxes, making deals, finishing runs, whatever the case might be. Yeah, were there some people buying, looking to flip? I am sure, 100%. That's you're always going to have an element of that. The difference is, I think in the non-sports collectibles, insert whatever one you want here, cards, comics, Charizards, whatever, Pokemons, that the skew of collector to flipper / investor, whatever you want to call it, is flipped. The collector, hoarder, whatever, is the dominant species. And the evil flipper, investor, moneymaker, greed monster is there, but it is in a smaller form. When you flip that around the sports, I feel like it is either much more evened out or even skewed the opposite direction. Once again, just walk through a card show and just listen. Just listen to the conversations going on at each individual table. Don't even look at cards. Just walk up to a table when people are negotiating with a dealer and just listen. Or at a trade night, just sit there and just close your eyes for a minute and just listen to the individual conversations going on around you. What will you hear? Do you have room? I buy at 70%. I buy at 60%. I could do 90%. I sell at 90% of comps. Those are the types of conversations that you hear. You don't hear, oh man, I've been looking for that card forever. Now, am I being a little hyperbolic here? Yes. Am I painting with a broad brush? Yes. Of course, there are people that do truly collect some of this stuff. There are some things that I collect in Ultramodern. I collect Cavs. I like having Cavs cards. I like some Jose Ramirez stuff. Not as crazy with Jose Ramirez. I prefer my Cavs over Jose Ramirez, but. And then I also think the further that you go back, the more collector focused that you get. Look at the way people interact around 90s inserts or 90s refractors. Oh, I need that for my collection. I need that for my PC. I chase that guy. Oh, that gives me nostalgia vibes. That hits me in the feels. I collected these when I was a kid. Same thing with vintage and the further that you go back. When you get to modern, ultra modern, it's all about how much room do you have. Now, what's my point with all this? If no one, and once again, not no one, but if very few people truly want to collect ultra modern, how many people are buying ultra modern to actually collect it versus hang on to it for a short period of time, move it on to the next person and make their 5 or 10% or 1% or lose 10% or whatever the case might be? If there's no end user, that's a problem for the ecosystem. At some point in time, that's going to catch up with itself. Another point to kind of prove all this. Look at breaking. People rip boxes, they do breaks, and guilty as charged. I just did it with the Sapphire box. You're opening the product or participating in the break for the slot machine pull. Once again, broad brush. Versus truly wanting to collect and open that product. I opened some boxes of Marvel cards. I, in a lot of cases, want to put a set together, especially the older stuff. I'm setting that stuff aside. I'm making piles. Those are going in binders in a lot of cases. If I open Bowman Sapphire, the first thing I'm doing is trying to find the most valuable card in the box. And then what do? I don't go, oh, great, this is cool. This is so cool. I'm going to tuck this away, and then I'm going to look at it every day. No, what do? We put it on eBay as fast as humanly possible, or send it to PSA as quickly as humanly possible so we can maximize the value, sell it, and then rinse and repeat again. I don't know. Am I being a little, I don't want to, I guess, negative the right word? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I guess I'm just in a little bit of a mood today. I don't know why. I had a good show and everything. I don't know. This just really struck me. Hanging out at that table for literally 20 minutes. And I literally saw this happen like 4 times in a row. Someone comes up. Hey, yeah, I'm 75, 65%, 60%. This whole rigmarole on the sports card side of things. And then on the Pokemons, it was, oh, cool, that's $15. All right, here's the $15. Here you go. Done. No back and forth, no messing around. And I really think it boils down to the people in this instance buying the Pokemon cards. And once again, insert whatever collectible you want here that's not modern sports cards. Just truly want to own that. They don't care if they get it for 10% less than current comps or 20% less than current comps, because they're not immediately taking it to the next table and trying to sell it and make 10%. They're taking it home with them to put it in their binder, put it in their deck, whatever, put it on their wall, put it on their desk, and enjoy it. Curious for your thoughts and comments on this one. So a little rambly, I don't know, just a little all over the place on this one, but just those are the thoughts after a 4-hour car drive that were bouncing around on the old noggin. So happy Memorial Day, everybody. We will catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.